Inspiring interviews with today's top landlords. This is the Rental Income Podcast. And now, Dan Lane.
A great way to make money in real estate is to buy in an area that's getting better. Maybe there's some kind of improvement going on, some development, or the area is just getting better over time. And Luca, that's what you're doing. You're buying in an area where a brand new train station is being built.
And the reason we're buying here is because along this same neighborhood on the opposite side, on the northern side, they're building an actual train station for the Metro North, which will take 19 minutes to take you to the center of the city. So it's going to overnight turn from a 60-minute commute to the center of the city to a 20-minute commute to the center of the city. So, it's not rocket science. We're just sitting here while the government pours $1 billion of infrastructure tax money into making our assets more desirable, more accessible without us having to really do anything.
No doubt that when that train station opens up, rents are going to be higher. The value of their properties are going to go up. And on the podcast today, Luca and his partner, Matt, are going to share some tips on how you can find a property in the path of progress where there's some kind of development going on that's going to lead to properties going up in value. We'll also talk about how Luca and Matt are getting guaranteed rent by renting to veterans and why they think condos are actually a really good investment. Joining us on the podcast today from Bronx, New York are Luca Garaci and Matt Roegiers. We'll take a quick break to thank our sponsors. We'll come right back and we'll talk to Luca and Matt. It's a lot of work to find a really good rental property, and when you actually find that property, you want to make sure you're working with a lender that can get that loan closed. The lender that I recommend is Chaley Ridge from Ridge Lending Group. She's a nationwide lender, and her specialty is helping investors finance rental properties. She has a ton of loan programs, and she can find something customized to you for your situation. If you want to find out more or you're ready to get started today, just go to ridgelendinggroup.com. That's RIDGE lendinggroup.com, NMLS 42056. Are you thinking about investing in rental properties, but maybe you don't know where to start? My friends at Mid-South Home Buyers make it simple. For over 23 years, they've been selling fully renovated turnkey rental properties in Memphis and Little Rock. We're talking new roofs, plumbing, electric, kitchens, bathrooms. Everything is brand new and done right. And here's the best part. Every property comes with a well-qualified tenant in place before you close. That means you get cash flow from day one. Plus, Mid-South continues to professionally manage the property for you after the sale, and they back it up with 2 powerful guarantees. You get a 1-year total maintenance warranty and a lifetime occupancy guarantee. Personally, I've bought 5 properties from them and I couldn't be happier. If you want to talk to someone that's been through the process, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions, or if you're ready to get started, just go to midsouthhomebuyers.com. That's midsouthhomebuyers.com. Luca, let's start off talking about your portfolio. What are your rentals like?
So I have a cute little portfolio of 51 units, all owned by myself with various LLCs.
Okay.
They're all 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom condominium apartments in this massive 171-tower, 13,000-unit condominium called Parkchester. And both myself and Matt, we exclusively rent our properties to former military personnel, to veterans, typically disabled elderly veterans, and they're either fully or almost fully subsidized under the HUD-VASH program, which is a subset of Section 8, which most of your viewers will be familiar with, which deals exclusively with veterans. So I often compare it to flying first class versus flying coach. You still get to the same destination, but it's just so much better. There's just more funding when the Pentagon is involved, and the tenants get great customer care. We get the attention of the housing authority quite easily, and problems tend to be smoothed out quite well whenever they show up.
So are you guys buying everything together, or do you have separate portfolios?
So we have an all of the above approach. I have my personal portfolio. Matt has his personal portfolio. And then we do a bunch of deals together.
Okay.
We facilitate transactions for friends and family who also want to get in. So the best way to describe it is an all of the above situation.
And everything is in one building. So it's like a high rise building, and all your properties are in that one building.
No, it's actually it's a single condominium, but it's 171 towers. It's 171
Okay.
buildings. It's massive. It was coined when it was built in the 1940s as a city within a city. It has its own private police. It has its own infrastructure. There's a beautiful fountain in the middle of it. If people want to Google it, so it's all under the same administration. They have $100 million in reserves, excellent finances, we might own a half dozen apartments in one building, a half dozen in another. They're kind of peppered across the neighborhood / complex.
So it sounds like you're buying the same, basically the same condo over and over and over again.
Yes, there's a lot of uniformity in the asset. There's basically, floor plan A, floor plan B, mirror image of A, mirror image of B, and then the same for the two bedrooms also. So it's quite easy. They're not. Let me put it this way: if you were trying to buy and sell fancy, architecturally interesting, unique Tribeca lofts, each transaction will be its own separate thing with its own separate set of due diligence you would have to do. Whereas here, we buy 4 or 5 or 6 a month because each transaction is basically a duplicate of the last one.
Right.
We know the finance. We don't have to reread the bylaws of the condo each time. I'm on the board of directors of the condo we buy in.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really an interesting way to do it, because the prices, you know what a good deal is, what it's going to rent for. You're not having to do any kind of analysis when you're looking to buy a place. So it just seems simple to just keep doing it over and over and over again.
Yeah, exactly. It makes it really easy. We're in this day in, day out in this market. We know exactly what the rates are, what the rent is, what the prices are going for. We always try to buy below market, and that's how we can find about, I would say, on average, eight units per month that are for us below market. If we would like to buy more, typically the units that we're finding above those 8 are at or above market, but it really helps, to know the product through and through.
Now, Luca, you sent me over a spreadsheet of your properties. I mean, you've got everything laid out so organized. And one thing that I noticed is that you bought your first property, and then there was a long time before you bought your second property. What made you wait so long to buy your second property?
The very first property I bought was before the new train station was announced, and this enormously important change in the circumstances here. I just bought the first one because I figured I should do something with real estate. I wasn't doing it full time at all, and I basically put probably 95% of my net worth into buying that first property for $85K. And then I started buying heavily subsequent to that when the train was announced. When the train station was announced is when, truly, we started, we realized what we were sitting on. And that's when the heavy purchasing started, and the partnerships and the additional investors and so on and so forth.
Are there any signs that someone could look for if they're looking to buy a property that's in the path of progress, where something good might be coming down the road? Are there any signs that someone can look for?
Of course. The easiest indicator is just follow the money. Find out where the federal government is allocating billions of tax dollars in infrastructure projects, and buy there. It doesn't have to be right next to a new train station. It could be right next to anything like a port, a new highway being built, anything where you don't like. As I sit here right now, I'm in the Italian Alps. I'm having a wonderful hike, and there are some 250 union workers in the Bronx building a train station for me and changing the circumstances so fundamentally without me having to do anything. The maximized capitalization won't be because I'll have put in a new kitchen or a new bathroom. It will be because of the convenience created by this external element,
Right.
government funded infrastructure improvements.
So have you seen the values go up already, or is it like, do you think that's going to come when the actual train is open?
9.44% per year in average growth off of my portfolio alone and the portfolio of partners. Matt was mentioning earlier that the numbers make sense even without the train. This is an incredibly well managed multi-tower condominium complex on the outskirts of the cultural and financial capital of the Western world. It's safe. It's the crime rate is lower than in the zip code of the Empire State Building. So yes, documented, irrefutable, objectively verified growth, almost double digit consistently over the last decade and a half. So we believe that the arrival of the train station will put the growth in overdrive. But yes, it's definitely present. It's quite common to New York. There's always, right now it's Bushwick in Brooklyn. There was a time that it was Alphabet City in Manhattan that was just full of addicts and very dangerous, and then it kind of reborn. And there seemed to be the new hot spot in New York, and it's the Bronx's turn next.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a solid investment, and it would be even without this extra bonus, the cherry on top that Matt was mentioning.
Now, talk to me about the condo fee. That's something with condos that always kind of freaks me out because those condo fees can be expensive. Are the condo fees pretty high in your area?
This is, as I mentioned, an enormous condominium complex. It has more than $100 million in reserves. And investing here has been an amazing experience, and interfacing and interacting with the condominium itself and the HOA management has been delightful because of how well run it is. And because of economies of scale. If you have a single tower condominium anywhere, even in Manhattan, and all of a sudden the elevator breaks and needs to be replaced, it's a tragedy. It's a major assessment. Tens of thousands of dollars need to be chipped in by each owner. People sue, people sell below value and crash the value of the building. It's a disaster. If an elevator breaks in Parkchester, it's a Tuesday. We have 200 elevator shafts. Something is going to break. We have on-site staff that does nothing but elevator repair, and they're included in the budget. They're not a deviation from the budget. And the elevator is just an example. They're making all the building entrances ADA compliant. They're reinforcing the roofs of the building because they're somewhat old, and all of these events are on a 10-year, 15-year, 20-year rotation to go through all 171 towers. And so they're included in budgets. We know ahead of time that in 5 years from now, we'll spend X amount of money on replacing the elevators in this building, and that building. So it's extremely stable. The HOA grows about 3% per year, and there's barely any deviation from that. It's truly just tied to inflation.
Yeah, that's interesting. So would you say that if you're going to buy a condo, most condos aren't going to be as big as the project that you guys are investing in, but maybe try to find a bigger condo than a smaller unit because you have that scale.
Yes, I would say, really look, if you're going to buy into a condo, really look into the finances of the condo. This is like an extreme case of an extra comfort blanket that all the owners feel.
Right.
It's kind of like on the opposite side of the spectrum from buying a 2-family house. If the boiler breaks, that's on you. If the roof breaks, that's on you.
Right.
If all of these things break in one of my condos, I not only do I not have to worry about it on a month-to-month basis, any kind of like additional expense, but I know it won't affect the increase that will happen the next year. They're not going to have to jack up the increases more because of whatever might have broken. It's just all baked into the cake.
Right. And now the other advantage to a condo, I think, is that it's just simple. Like you're only responsible for inside the walls and inside the unit. So are your maintenance fees, or the amount that you spend on maintenance, are they small just because it's probably really just kind of appliances that you're having to maintain?
Yes, appliances, the occasional paint job, the kind of routine stuff. Sometimes you have to change the carpet. Yeah, if there's a leak from the bathroom above, and there will be because they're 90-year-old pipes, the condominium takes care of all the repair. We just have to put the last coat of paint, and so the fees are about are a little high. They're about $800 for a one bedroom, maybe $1,000 for a two bedroom. But again, we rent our properties for $2,600 and change, and that amount is guaranteed by the government and is paid directly by the government. So our cash flow is phenomenal.
Tell me about the tenants that you're renting to. So you're targeting veterans?
Yes, and there's two reasons for that. On the one hand, it's just the right thing to do. It's wonderful that there's people that would that have served their country in uniform, and then they fall on hard times. They need help, and we provide a home. And we like to think of our property management mantra is we're like a 5-star hotel with really low budget. So the intention is there. We'd really try to make our tenants feel welcome, and we're really proud to be able to help. And on the other hand, we're interfacing with the Pentagon, with the Department of Defense, with a really well-funded institution, a really well-operated institution. So the customer care is available. Is really phenomenal. The process is made simple. A typical Section 8 will take 2, 3, 4 months to process, at least in New York. If you're doing HUD-VASH, which is what this program is called, within 2 weeks, you're operational. We have the cell phones of the NYCHA operators, of the people that administer the voucher. It's just like working with another small business. It's that level of access, that level of efficiency. It's pretty wonderful. If you're going to rent to anybody, try to rent to veterans.
So do you think this is maybe better than Section 8?
It's Section 8 on steroids. If Section 8 is flying coach, this is flying first class. Gets you to the same destination. You're under the same program. It's still the government paying you, but there is the VA supplement to the general program, which puts it in overdrive. We almost never have to evict Section 8 tenants or HUD-VASH tenants, but in the rare cases that we do have to, the government keeps paying the rent. Okay, right. So we're not losing money. We just have to pay $500 for the lawyer to show up in court, but our cash flow is fine. I had this one tenant, a former Marine, who one day disappeared. To this day, I don't know where he went. He just left, I don't know, the city, the country, I don't know.
Yeah.
And obviously you can't just take back an apartment. You still have to go through the process.
Right.
And so, we had to go 6 months waiting for court dates and what have you. And during that entire time, I was getting all of the money from the government. And so it was basically business as usual without without having to deal with the tenant being there.
Luca and Matt tell me there's lots of opportunities in their development. If anyone wants to reach out to them to get some more information, I've got their contact information on the website. You can find it at rentalincomepodcast.com/episode 539. I'd like to thank Chaley Ridge from Ridge Lending Group for sponsoring today's episode. If you're looking to buy a rental property, whether you're just getting started or you want to add to your portfolio, reach out to Chaley. Right now, she's offering a free 30-minute strategy session. If you want to sign up for that, just go to ridgelendinggroup.com. NMLS 42056. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. Make sure you hit that follow button. I put out a new interview every single Tuesday, and if you're following the show, you'll get notified when the next episode comes out. My name is Dan Lane, and this has been the Rental Income Podcast.